Welcome to EduRev.
Hi everyone, I'm Rajgeeta Balamurali. I'm your CAT Verbal Aptitude faculty at EduRev. Today the topic that we are going to see is spotting errors in verbal ability of CAT. Before that, a brief about me. I have more than a decade of experience in this field and have trained thousands of students crack several standardized tests. The instructions for this question type goes like this. You're provided with a sentence which you need to read and analyze and look for grammar errors in it. The sentence is going to consist of three parts, A, B, and C. The error can occur in either one of these parts. If you don't find an error in any one of these parts, the answer will be D. Moving on to the topic, we are going to see some really cool strategies to crack spotting errors in CAT. Let's take a look at the first sentence. Each of the boys were supposed to ride out in a different direction. Part A, each of the boys. Part B, were supposed. Part C, to ride out in a different direction. Whenever you're given a sentence for spotting errors, the first thing that you need to do is to analyze the sentence, which is basically look for the subject and the predicate, or mainly the verb. What is the subject in this sentence? Each of the boys. That is part A, right? So what is the main subject here? You seem to have two nouns here, each and boys. Boys looks like a prospective subject, right? But it is not. Any noun that comes after the preposition in the phrase here, of the boys, cannot be the subject or the main noun in the sentence. So the noun that comes before the prepositional phrase, which is each, is the main subject, which is singular. So we are going to look for a singular verb also. So let's take a look at part B. Were supposed. So the verb were is plural, which doesn't agree with the singular noun in part A. So the error is in part B. This sentence is testing us on subject-verb agreement. So the correct sentence should be, each of the boys was supposed to ride out in a different direction. Let's take a look at the next sentence. We must either earn more money or it will be necessary to cut our expenses. Part A, we must. Part B, either earn more money. Part C, or it will be necessary to cut our expenses. So let's analyze the sentence. What is the subject? We. Okay. So what is the verb here? Must. So part A seems fine. So let's take a look at part B. Either earn more money. So this part has initiated a correlative conjunction, which is either. So this has to be coupled with the or, and the part following the both the either and the or have to be parallel with each other, right? So let's check it out. Either earn more money, and part C says or it will be necessary to cut our expenses. So we do have an or, so that's great. But are these two parts parallel with each other? Earn more money, it will be necessary to cut our expenses? Not really, right? So this sentence tests us on parallel construction error, and the error is in part C here. The correct sentence must be, we must either earn more money or cut down our expenses. Let's take a look at the next sentence. Tomorrow I will go cycling, snowboarding and trek. Part A, tomorrow I will go. Part B, cycling, snowboarding. And part C, and trek. So let's analyze the sentence. That's the first thing we do in spotting errors in the CAT, right? So first part says, tomorrow I will go. So tomorrow is hinting us, it's a time clue for the future. I will go. So I is the subject and will go is also agreeing with the time clue, which is tomorrow. So far fine, part A looks okay. Part B, cycling, snowboarding. So this part has initiated a list here. So and the first two items are cycling and snowboarding. So this is also fine. Let's look at the third part, part C, and trek. I know this is the last item in the list. This is the last item and the word is trek here. And this does not agree with the previous two items, cycling and snowboarding, right? So this sentence is testing us on parallel construction error. And when there are a list of items in a sentence, each of the items have to agree with one another in terms of grammatical consistency. So the error is in part C, and the correct answer should be, tomorrow I will go cycling, snowboarding and trekking. Okay, there's the fourth sentence for us. Let's take a look at it. With her phone in one hand and her camera in the other, Lucy clicked photos with it as the parrot passed. Part A, with her phone in one hand and her camera in the other. Part B, Lucy clicked. Part C, photos with it as the parrot passed. Okay, what is the first thing we do when we see an error spotting sentence? Analyze it, right? So let's analyze it. Part A says, with her phone in one hand and her camera in the other. So this is just an introductory phrase, and as this phrase begins with a preposition with, it is called a prepositional phrase. We are yet to encounter the actual subject and the verb as to who is this her referring to. Okay, so let's take a look at part B. Lucy clicked. So there we go. We have a subject and the verb. And then so this looks fine so far. Let's look at part C. Photos with it as the parrot passed. Okay, there we have it introduced a pronoun. Anytime you see a pronoun, you need to verify two things. One is, who is the antecedent for the pronoun? What is the noun this pronoun is referring to? Are they both agreeing with each other? They always have to agree. Singular, singular. Singular pronoun should always replace only a singular noun, and plural pronoun only a plural noun. The other concept should be, does this pronoun have clarity to which noun it is referring to? Okay, so do we know who this pronoun is, who or what this pronoun is referring to? Not really, right? It can refer to either the camera or the phone. So this pronoun is called an ambiguous pronoun. It doesn't have clarity, it's unclear. Okay, so the error is in part C. This sentence is testing us on pronoun ambiguity. The correct sentence should be, with her phone in one hand and her camera in the other, Lucy clicked photos with her camera or phone as the parrot passed. Let's take a look at the next sentence. The Netherlands is aiming at double its bilateral trade with Africa by 2021. Okay, part A, the Netherlands is aiming at. Part B, double its bilateral trade. Part C, with Africa by 2021. So let's analyze our sentence. Part A, the Netherlands is aiming at. So this part can be a little tricky, right? It can raise a couple of questions around the Netherlands and the is, right? Is it singular, plural? Is the subject and verb agreeing with each other? But they are perfectly doing that. The Netherlands is a singular unit, it's a singular entity. Is aiming is also singular, so there is no error in part A. This seems fine. So let's take a look at part B. Double its bilateral trade. Okay. So before this part B, we have is aiming at, right? Is aiming is a verb phrase. Certain verb phrases, when they're followed by a preposition like the at here, like the is aiming at, it has to make it idiomatically right. The noun following that should be in an ing form or a participle form. So double is a wrong form here. It has to be doubling. So the error is in part B. And this sentence is testing us on the correct or the precise usage of words here in combination with certain prepositional and verb phrases. The correct answer is, the Netherlands is aiming at doubling its bilateral trade with Africa by 2021. Hope this video helped you guys get some insights into spotting errors. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.